We really wanted to win a SAF championship, but we couldn't even make it to the finals. We played really well in group stage matches and we became group champion as well. But Afghanistan defeated us in the semi-finals and we couldn't make it. Now what really went wrong in SAF championship? We all wanted to know the answer of this question. And to give the answer, we have the head coach of Nepal's football team and assistant coach of Nepal's football team, Mr. Stefanowski and Richard Orlowski. So welcome to the show.
Okay, pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you here again.
Okay, fantastic.
Now, News Time for Television and GoldNepal.com, that's a popular website in our country. We have posted the news about this interview with you guys, and the audience, there's a huge response from the audience, and there are lots of questions, more than 100 questions.
Wow.
We have selected 5 or 6 questions to be asked to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to go to that question later, but let me start this interview with this first very question.
Mm-hmm.
The very first question to Jack, the head coach. Now, what went wrong in SAF championship? Because we couldn't win the crown.
I think overall, as a big picture, I think a lot of things went right. We dominated the tournament, came into the semi-finals with the number 1 team in the South region, so that was going to be a tough match.
Right.
Didn't start the game off too well, but as the game went on, continued to dominate, and at the end of the day, you have one team or the other team win, and it wasn't our night.
It wasn't our night. Richard, Zach just said it wasn't our night. Now let me take you to the night against Afghanistan. What went wrong in the match against Afghanistan?
Was nothing wrong. The goalkeeper of Afghanistan, he got the best day in his life, the best performance. He saved 2 penalties. That's the way he stopped our team. We play excellent. We try to do everything. We was wave, we attacking, create situation, but he saved everything. We make like 10 shots, he saved 10 shots. We got 15 corner, he still survived. So the boys gave everything. Even Kiran, he played like striker last 2-3 minutes.
Right.
He tried, everyone tried the best, but the goalkeeper was
the name of the goalkeeper is Mansoor Fakirian. So he cost us the match.
For me, yes. Yeah.
No.
I tell you, 1974 Poland went to the England,
Right.
and we have to tie game. England has to win, and was 1-1.
Right.
And our goalkeeper, he was the best. He had the best day. He saved 20 shots, and we go to World Cup. England stay home. So sometimes one player can win the game, and that's happened 74. And when I watch this game, the same thing. He stopped Nepal to go to the final.
Right. Now, Jack, again, we need to talk about the match against Afghanistan. Now, in the match against Afghanistan, we are down by a goal in 11th minute. It happened because of our goalkeeper, Kiran Samson. He couldn't control the ball properly. And we conceded that goal. And that very goal became the decider of the game. How do you see Kiran's performance in that very game?
No, I think...
Is that a mistake made by Kiran?
Yeah, it's just it's a learning process. I think as players, you have to go to a level of consistency.
Right.
And I think as a team, not only Kiran, but one of the things we need to push for the national team program and the national team is to have a level of consistency.
Right.
And that's something we learned from the last match against Afghanistan. We had 3 very tough matches in the group stage, and now you go back and what you try and improve, not only so much Kiran, but as a team, as a group, is to raise the level of consistency from all the players.
Were you angry with Kiran after we considered that goal in the dressing room after first half?
I wasn't angry. Mistakes is a part of life. It's a part of the game. We all make mistakes. We try to be perfect, but so sometimes mistakes do happen. And at that point, it was about what can we do so that at the end of the match, Kiran doesn't have to think about that mistake. So that was what was going through my mind. always optimistic, always positive.
Right.
So that's what we were pushing for the rest of us.
Richard, so how did you console Kiran in the dressing room?
We just support him.
What did you say to Kiran?
Just don't worry. Just don't forget this mistake. You have another 45 minutes. You have to play the best, because if you think about mistake, you back to the whatever happened before. So just forget this. You got 45 minutes. Keep concentration. Keep focus, and play the best.
You know, we had a chance to make up for it. We had a situation, we had a throwing, and we sent him up, and because of his height, he went in and got ahead.
We had seen that.
You always have that second chance in the game to try to go and make up for it.
Okay. Now, we had a chance to capitalize the game when we were awarded penalty shootout 2 times. Everybody is asking us the same question, you the same question exactly. Why did you allow Rohit to shoot the penalty 2 times? Jack, why did you allow Rohit?
Yeah.
Even though you had great strikers like Anil was on the field. Why Rohit?
I mean, to start off, Raju Taman's our #1 penalty shooter. He wasn't on the field, so the way we go about it is who's confident enough going in to take the penalty.
Right.
And in the midst of the players, it emerged that Rohit Chand was going to be the one to take that penalty. Now, outside of that, you have to look at special players on the field. And yes, we can go and say it's Anil, we can go and say, but the goalkeeper from Afghanistan, for me, not only was he a special player for the tournament, for the match, he was a special player for the tournament. He only gave up 1 goal the whole tournament.
Right.
So, to me, I compare it as to say Messi can go and win the Champions League by himself.
Right.
And so yes, we can go and say, well, we go and change, and that's decision, that's, you hope that you get all your decisions right.
Why didn't you choose another player instead of Rohit after first penalty was blocked by Mr. Fagiria?
No, we had a discussion, and the decision that we went with, yes, we have 2 decisions. Do you go with someone else? Or do you go with the same shooter? And if Rohit scores, we won't be having this conversation.
Very true.
So I think, because of after the fact, now you start to ask questions. You know. So again, it's decisions 50-50. Say we change the shooter. Now say the second shooter misses. The question people will be asking, why did you change the shooter? So there's a lot of factors that go into play, and at the end of the day, just to simplify it, it's 50-50. You change the shooter, Afghanistan keeper make the save on the second shooter, and I say, well, why did you change the shooter? If Rohit scored the second one, oh, fantastic. So, and that as a coach, you have to accept the fact that you'll be criticized. Sometimes you make good decisions, sometimes you make right decisions, and that's what we have to live with. And for that moment, we felt the decision was for Rohit to stay and take the second penalty. Unfortunately, we have to live with the fact that it wasn't meant to be, and like I said, it wasn't our
night. No,
but I gotta say something. The second penalty, Anil has ball in his hand, and he gave this ball to Rohit. I saw this. Why? They trust him. They trust Rohit, he's gonna score a goal. And he didn't miss. The goalkeeper saved. He didn't miss penalty. He tried score, but the goalkeeper saved. So.
No, tell me honestly, Richard, whose decision was it to let Rohit shoot the penalty? Is it the captain or the coach?
No, during the practice we got penalty shoot, and Raju Tamag was number 1.
Yeah.
The second was Rahit. Another was Jumanurai, Sandeep Rai, and even Kiran was number 5.
Really?
So that's the 5 players. So whoever was the second, but you know, practice is practice, game is game.
Okay. Coach, the best part about the tournament is, as we think, we beat India by 2-1, and which was, the victory after 7 years of, hard patience.
Yeah.
The last time we defeated India was back in 2006 in AFC Championship, where we defeated India by 3-0. Now, is the victory against India one of the happiest moment in the tournament for you?
Yeah, it was fantastic because we knew we could make history.
Right. We did make history.
So I think more importantly, it was a fantastic moment for the country, for all the fans, something for them to feel good about, and that's part of life, and that's what we live for. So to have the win and see a lot of people come together and enjoy and happiness, so for me it was a very important result. Fantastic.
The same question to Richard. What went through your mind when we defeated India by 2-1?
It was a great moment for us, for coaching staff, because Nepal is like a young brother to India, and we beat big brother. So it was like, but India is small country, but with big heart. That's why the big heart beat India.
Now, talking about strikers, Zach, Santosh Saukhola, he was one of the best striker in Nepal. Now, he was kept in the bench during the whole tournament. You believed in the newcomer like Bimal Bhattimagar, but didn't believe experienced Santosh Saukhola. Can you justify this?
Yeah, it was about moments. We took the golf tour. Santosh done well. There was 2-3 matches that he played, and in all fairness to him, he did well in those matches. We had a specific role for him within the team that we always had in the back of the mind.
Right.
Bimal Gatti, yes, he's a striker, but he's a different player than Santosh. They're two different strikers with different qualities. We went ahead with Bimal because of the quality that he has, and we felt he was in the moment, he was scoring goals, and that's the guy we went with.
Why do you prefer newcomer to experienced one? Because Santosh, he has played a SAF championship, in India as well, and he is experienced. But you didn't choose experienced, but you rather chose the newcomer Bimal.
Yeah,
You didn't go for experienced one.
yeah, it's about moments, Sometimes, sometimes you go with an experienced player, and sometimes you go with the player that's hot and it's in the moment. So for me, sometimes you have to trust your instinct, and make decisions. You can go and try to debate and explain and over-explain, but sometimes you have to trust your instinct. Like I said, sometimes you get your decisions right, sometimes you don't, but you hope that more of the decisions are right than wrong.
Why didn't you allow Santosh to go to the field, not even in any match? He was totally benched. Why Jack?
No, we just a moment. He would have, like he said, the moment could have been in the extra time, or the moment
final.
could have been in the final.
Right.
So it's about finding the right moment. We put Bimal in, and he got us the penalty.
Right.
So we go with who we feel can make an impact in the game. Santosh had a specific role on the team in terms of where we wanted him to play,
Right.
and we're just waiting in
For this
terms
moment.
of the game when to put him in so that he can do that specific role. And the opportunity didn't present itself, but like he said, it could have been in extra time, it could have been in the final of the
That's
next
right.
match. So we have to be fair in all of the plays, and
Right.
he has a role within the team, and if that opportunity arises, then we get him into the match.
Okay. Like this time, our strikers really gave their best shot in the tournament, and they also scored the goals. Thankfully, they scored the goals in the SAF championship. Anil, Jumanu, Bimal, Varat, they scored the goals. They all are strikers. We have no complaint against our strikers. But what audience, they are complaining about is our midfield. Vijay Gurung was superb midfielder, and he was not in the squad. Jagjit was a great player, but couldn't play well due to injury. Now, if I say there was a problem in midfield in the tournament, will I be correct?
No, we could have gotten more. When we picked the players, we picked the best players that were in form at the moment.
Right.
That's the criteria, like, you go, well, why did we not pick certain players? Because we wanted to go with the players that were in form and that were playing their best. And I think we needed more time to try to go, not so much individual, I think it's more of a group as a team. We needed to get more out of the team in terms of our midfield play. And that's something now, if I'm looking at the tournament and what is the next step for the team, well then that's what needs to improve. And I don't think it's so much individual play. I think in terms of how we play and the style that we're trying to get more out of the team and the play.
I invited Rohit and Kiran last week in the same show, and I asked them about the importance of Vijay Gurung in the midfield, and they said we really felt the need of Vijay Gurung during the tournament because we had some problems in midfield. They agreed on it. Do you feel not letting Vijay Gurung in the squad might have some impact during the tournament? Do you feel the importance of Vijay Gurung? Because I asked the same question to players and they agreed.
Yeah, but I stay with Jack. We choose the best player on this moment, and we got only 20 spots. If we got 23, if we got spot another 3 place, probably he make the team. But we got only 20 that we choose the best 20 player, and he didn't make it. I'm sorry, but what we cannot do.
Everybody is complaining about the midfield. Do you feel we have problem in midfield?
I don't feel we got problem with midfield. We play Kuwait, we play Bahrain, we play excellent. Everybody support us. Every coach said you got a great team, you got a good midfield. That's why we choose them for those tournament. And we got new player Prakash, we got Tanka. They play great in the league. We try them. They play the best what they got, but sometimes
I think we have to get away from looking at individual players.
We agree, but it was asked by our audience.
We have to get away from looking at individual players to create a midfield. And yes, I agree that the midfield can improve, but it's more so of how, as a team and as a unit, we create a midfield. And we try to find the balance between playing and being more direct. And unfortunately, that's something we need more time with, and it's one of the hardest things in football to develop, which is, like you're saying, creating a midfield, the final third, and it takes time. It takes time, so I wouldn't rely just on one player to say, hey, because one player, then, or they say, well, what if you shut down that one player? Then what happens?
Very true.
You know what I mean? So I think everyone is looking for the easy answer to say, oh, it's the forwards help create a midfield as well. The forward and midfield, depending on where they position and what kind of movement they make, they help create the midfield. Also the outside back. If we're patient with the ball and we're moving the ball around, then we can help create. So we have to get away from looking at individual players and as a national team, what can we do as a whole group to create more chances and to be more effective in the final third. And that for me is what would be one of the next steps for the national team.
Fine. We are in conversation with Stefanowski and Orlowski. It's time to take a break.